Yo, we're live. What's up? Happy Sunday morning to everybody. The streak came to an end. I officially had a losing college football week. We knew it couldn't last forever. I would like to specifically blame the Florida Gators and their run defense for the entire thing. It goes deeper than that. Boston College missed by the hook. Whatever. We're on to NFL Sunday. We're off to a decent start because we got the Jags. Jags first half. Jags team total over. They're up 17-0 at half right now. But let's run the intro and get started.
Welcome to the source.
And the intro froze. The intro froze. Yeah, me neither. All right, we're back. Intro froze. I don't know why. Who cares? First game up, Broncos at Bears. Toast, can I get a weather report, please?
Let me open them up really quickly.
Prop Beaver updated lines for Broncos and Bears. The best on both sides, please.
Okay, I believe it is at 3.5 still for both sides. Going to confirm that now. You could get Broncos -3, -115 on PointsBet, and then you could also get the Bears plus 3.5, -115 on BetMGM.
Total.
Total. The total is set at.
Come on now.
Christ, why is it not? It's not on the screen. It's not on the fucking screen. The total set at 46.5.
All right, please have the next one ready.
Yeah, 74 and clear. All my weather is ready.
So weather's beautiful. All right, Prop Beaver, why don't you kick us off here with the first pick of the show?
Yeah, I'm going with your favorite market. I know you really love these types of bets. I'm going with a Russell Wilson longest completion over 36.5 yards today. I actually love this pick. Chicago's pass defense is so pissed, and now they're missing Jalen Johnson and Eddie Jackson. They're 32nd in DVOA against the deep ball, 18th against the short pass. And Russell Wilson, I mean, say what you want about him, but the guy's got a fucking cannon. Through 3 games, he's tied for 5th in 20-plus yard pass attempts, tied 5th in completion percentage, 3rd in yards per attempt, 3rd in ADOT. Wilson has now cashed this in his last 10 of 15 overall, and is 2-1 to the total on the season. But what makes me like this bet even more is the fact that they're getting more vertical with this offense. Wilson last year averages 119 air yards per game. Through 3 games, he's averaging 170. With just 100-plus air yards, Wilson is 9-2 to the over. Through 3 games, the Bears have allowed 13 20-plus yard games, 8 30-plus yard games, and 5 37-plus yard games. All 3 quarterbacks to face them have hit the mark. I love this bet today. I'm seeing a deep ball written all over it. Unlimited.
All right, so I don't hate that bet, but myself, I'm on the Bears. I took the Bears plus 3.5. Bears team total over 21.5. All right, so obviously, whoa, where are my graphics? Come on, man. Damn, I have cool injury graphics for that. Hold on 1 sec. Let me try to fix it real quick. I'm not going to take more than a second on this. Already found the problem. Don't worry. This is an easy fix. It was loading to the college football folder. Game 3. We should be in business now. There we go. All right, so here's the Bears secondary. Now, keep in mind, this is already a dog shit secondary before we even get started. Week 1, Bears lose Kyler Gordon and Eddie Jackson, 2 key pieces. They've been down since week 1. They're not returning. Now, Jalen Johnson, who was by far the best remaining piece of that secondary, he's out as well. So this is a bad defense, and it's missing 3 pieces of their secondary. Broncos' pass game, is like Proppy were saying, has actually been pretty good. So I get why you would think the Broncos are going to throw the ball and move the ball, score points. I get it, and I think that'll happen. But on the other side, less people are talking about how the Broncos defense is also a mess. Frank Clark's been out. He's not returning. That guy Jewel, he's the second on the team in leading tackler. And look at this. I mean, the Broncos are 32nd overall in defensive DVOA. The Broncos defense has been the worst in the league. Now, That 70-point Dolphins game is probably skewing those numbers a bit, but they are 32nd overall, 32nd against the pass, 30th against the rush. We're all sitting here wondering, like, when were you going to see the Justin Fields from last year that was making wild plays, playing in these high-scoring games? Yeah, they lost a bunch of them, but Bears offense was scoring points. This is the game. At home, I expect the Bears offense to make plays and score here. This Broncos team is just so bad, and by the way, the Bears rushing attack, I forgot to mention this, it's actually not bad. They're 11th in yards per carry and 11th in adjusted line yards. They're averaging 4.5 or 4.4 yards per carry on the season. Thing is, they just keep getting down on the scoreboard, and they have to abandon it. That's not going to happen in this one. I like the Bears. I think they could win this game, but at 3.5, definitely taking it.
I don't have a ton. A lot of the trends are just going to tell you about how bad Chicago's been the first couple of weeks. I will say, to your point about the Bears defense, that's the 7th worst mark in the first 3 weeks of all time. So it wasn't just one game that did that to that Bears defense.
I was talking about Broncos.
That's what I meant to say. Excuse me. The Broncos defense. It's been a combination of a lot of things too. So I'm going to tail you and play the Bears as well. But I don't really have like a lot of confidence in it because both of these teams are just absolutely terrible. I mean, Chicago hasn't covered a game or has won a game 13 straight. That's their longest franchise's history. There's a lot of reasons to think that you could probably see the Bears here today. But yeah, I'm just going to tail you.
Bears it is. Our community heavy on the Broncos, -3 at -115, 53% laying the 3.5 or 3, 25% taking the 3.
This was like the one game that, like, because I was like trying to go through like trends and stuff for the whole slate. This was like the one game there was like not one trend that was even like worth mentioning. I said it to you in that Discord and you dismissed it so fast. I was like, yeah, this game is trash.
Updated line on Ravens Browns, please, Prop Beaver.
Yes. So, wow, the line has flipped. It is now the Ravens who are 2-point favorites, -110 on PointsBet and Barstool. You could also get the Browns at +2 there. There's some books offering it at 1.5 still, so just explore your options depending on what side you're betting.
Total?
And then in terms of the total, it's at 38.5.
38.5. All right. Let's get the poll running.
71 and clear to Cleveland today.
71 and clear. Some more perfect weather. Prop Beaver, do you have a bet for this one?
No, not really in love with this game. I kind of wish Watson was playing. I was going to try and sneak in maybe a Lamar Jackson rushing attempts over or rushing yards over because the Browns defense looks so good right now. They create a ton of pressure, and Lamar has 2 receivers out. But honestly, I don't really know how the pace of this game is going to go. If the Ravens somehow get up early, then there's really not much of a reason for Lamar Jackson to force runs. So I'm just going to ultimately pass on this one. The DTR quarterback change kind of shifted things here for me.
Yeah, this sucks. I posted the ticket around 9:15 this morning. I got Ravens +2.5, and I got the Ravens money line at plus money. I guess I'd still say Ravens at -2, but honestly, this is probably more of a pass at this number now. The reason for the line move is Deshaun Watson was officially ruled out, in case you didn't hear. Ravens defense is a mess. Well, here's the offense. Rashad Bateman out, Odell Beckham are both out, as I'm sure you've heard. J.K. Dobbins has been out. He's out for the year. Rodney Stanley probably not returning at left tackle. And then on the other side of the ball, Marlon Humphrey still not back. They probably are getting Marcus Williams back at safety. He didn't play last week, but they just lost Kyle Hamilton. So bring a safety back, lose a safety. Welcome to Ravens football, man. They have to deal with this every single year. But the thing is, the Ravens defense is always injured, and somehow they just always produce. I mean, this isn't new. Still, despite what they've gone through this year, they're still the 5th overall ranked defense, DVOA-wise, 6th against the pass, 9th against the run. I mean, the Browns' offense hasn't been overwhelming at all. Even in their 2 wins, they won them comfortably, 27-3 and 24-3. But the defense deserves the credit for that. This Browns' offense hasn't really been good at all. And now without Deshaun Watson, even though he hasn't been good either, I just don't see how this Browns offense moves the ball here. Now, on the other side, trust me, the Browns defense, it might be the best defense in football right now. Lamar Jackson, though, showed some signs of life last week, over 100 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns. I think he'll be able to make a play or two, but ultimately this game comes down to just 2 major things. Lamar Jackson as an underdog, you always have to bet him. He's 16-4 against the spread as an underdog, and this is such a Browns are gonna Brown game. Like 2-1. If they beat the Ravens here, they would be 3-1 with a big division win. Front row seat to win the AFC North. But this is when the Browns brown. So I think the Browns find a way to mess this one up. Lamar Jackson makes a couple of plays. I'm on Baltimore. But like I said, I got in at 2.5, plus 2.5.
Yeah, I'm on the same thing as you. I'm on Baltimore. I took them at +3 this week as soon as I saw it. They're very similar like the Titans. Anytime I get them as a dog, I'm going to take them. Kyle alluded to it. The Ravens as a whole, 19-4 ATS. Their last 23 as an underdog. Lamar Jackson against the AFC North, 6-2 ATS on the road against them. There's just a lot of reasons to like the Ravens. So obviously it's completely different with the line being flipped. But yeah, I was all over the Ravens as well.
And so is our poll. Looks like, 53%? 52% of our viewers are laying the 2 with Baltimore, 25% taking the 2 with Cleveland, 17% under. And that's as expected. It's like entering the game, I knew everyone was going to be taking the under. And now that Deshaun Watson's out, under away. Bengals at Titans next. This one's on YouTube. Can I get a weather report, please?
Yeah, Bengals at Titans, 84 degrees and clear. So actually, that's kind of hot for NFL weather.
Wow, dude! I mean, beautiful weather. All 3 games so far.
Yeah.
Prop Beaver, updated lines, please.
Yep. So we got 2.5 on both sides here. Also, I believe you can get the 3 at -120 on BetMGM if you want to buy that pivotal hook. Wouldn't blame me if you wanted to do that there. Totals at 41.5 consensus.
41.5, you said?
Yes.
All right, poll is running. Start us off, Prop Beaver.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Kyle about this earlier in the week. I love the Tennessee Titans today. I'll take them on the spread. I'll take them on the money line. I love the Tennessee Titans. It was a 3rd straight pitiful performance by Burrow against the Rams, a defense who I really don't respect, and that was at home. I mean, it's time to take what we know about the Bengals and put it to the side because this offense, through 33 drives, has 3 touchdowns, fewest in the league. They're averaging 4 yards per play, dead last in the league. The best asset for Joe Burrow is his big playability, and it's simply non-existent right now. 2 of 20 on attempts of 15-plus air yards with a pick in there. The Titans' defense was 32nd in deep ball DVOA last year, but 14th in short. It's just his skill set right now is lending towards what the Titans are actually strong at. And on top of that, he's been dreadful in pressure. The guy's averaging 2 yards per attempt under pressure. His completion percentage is 27% under pressure. Those are dead last amongst 34 qualified quarterbacks. And the Titans' pass rush hits top 12 in adjusted sack rate, hurry percentage, and pressure rate. And the fact that the run game is not going to be there against this Titans rush team, I really just don't like the Bengals offense to produce. Then we got the Titans offense in a nice buy low spot. Cleveland looks like the best defense in the league right now, so now they don't have to face them. And on top of that, that was on the road where Tannehill has been a nightmare since 2022. In his 8 road games, he's averaging 172 yards per game, 79 passer rating, 6 TDs, 7 picks. That's gross. But at home, through 7 home games, 244 yards per game, 100 passer rating, 8 TD, 2 picks. Since he's passed, he looks pedestrian right now. The rush defense is bottom 5 in the league in terms of DVOA. And we got Vrabel as a dog here, 26-17-1 against the spread as a dog overall. And on top of that, he's 10-6 against the spread as a home dog, with all 10 wins and losses coming straight up. So give me the Titans money line and give me the Titans plus 2.5. I think they rally and they win here.
Absolutely.
Beaver stole my notes.
Yeah, basically me too. To summarize what he just said in a couple short sentences, the way to beat the Titans is to attack that secondary. And what we've seen from this Bengals offense, they've been running the ball a little bit, and they've been hitting short passes. Joe Burrow's been terrible throwing the ball downfield, and Joe Burrow's been terrible under pressure. When I say terrible, I mean worst quarterback in the league, terrible. Yes, I know he's dealing with a calf injury. I'm not bashing Joe Burrow if you're a Bengals fan about to get angry in the comments. I'm just saying, numbers-wise, he's been awful at the 2 things you need to do to score on the Titans defense. And then on the other side, what Beaver didn't mention, which I know he has in his notes, he must have skipped over it, Bengals love to blitz. They have the 3rd highest blitz rate in the NFL. Cincinnati loves the blitz. Lou Anarumo loves sending pressure. You want to know who was arguably the best quarterback in the NFL against the blitz last year? You might not believe it. Ryan Tannehill, man, he was top 3 in passer rating, yards per attempt, and there was a third stat where he was, I think completion percentage, where he was top 3 in all those categories against the blitz. Ryan Tannehill, great at reading the blitz. Just a great matchup with the Titans here at home. We've seen Ryan Tannehill play great at home, terrible on the road. Here he is at home against the defense that I think he could beat. Definitely on the Titans getting points here. I think the wrong team's favored.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. Vrabel as a dog, it's just one of those things. It screwed me the other week, last week, but I'm going right back to it. Beaver said pretty much everything I wanted to say. I will say Joe Burrow, one trend that kind of stuck out to me against non-divisional opponents, 16-2-1 ATS his last 19. But like Kyle pointed out, it's not the same Joe Burrow. So yeah, I'm all over the Titans as well.
All right, Titans across the board, and the community definitely disagrees with us. It's 55% of our viewers laying the points with the Bengals, 35% taking it with the Titans. 4% split on the over-under. Next, Dolphins at Bills. This is going to be a fun one. Weather report in Buffalo, please, Toast.
Dolphins and Bills, 71 and clear.
The weather's beautiful.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see any bad weather so far. Partly cloudy and the Panthers game, but that's about it.
Nice. All right.
Good times.
Is this line 3 both ways still, Prop Beaver?
Pretty much. If you wanted to get to 2.5 with Buffalo, you'd have to pay up -120 on DraftKings or Bet MGM. As far as the total goes, it's 53.5 across the board, except PointsBet, who has it at 53.
53.5 it is. All right, poll is running. Prop Beaver, talk to us.
Yeah, I'm going with James Cook over 82.5 rush plus receiving yards here. Really like this play today. Vic Fangio's defensive system unloaded the heavy box that Josh Boyer implemented in 2022. A big reason why the Miami rush defense was so effective against the run last year. Last year, they were 4th in adjusted line yards, 3rd in yards per carry allowed to running backs, 4th in rush yards per game allowed. How have they been through 3 games this year? Well, ever since they have implemented a very light box and are trying to take away the deep pass, well, they're 27th in adjusted line yards, 28th in yards per carry allowed, and 24th in rush yards per game allowed. This Bills O-line may not be the best in pass protection thus far, but in terms of run blocking, they're 1st in adjusted line yards. They are creating some amazing holes up front. And not only does Fangio's system open up more explosive rush opportunities, but also allows more opportunities underneath. The Miami pass piece, it's 29th in DVOA against running backs through the air thus far, and they're allowing the 4th most yards per reception to the position. The Dolphins have the highest frequency of man coverage thus far, and that's important because Cook has shredded man coverage in a small sample size, averaging 15 yards per reception and 1.88 yards per route run, compared to 5 yards per reception and 0.5 yards per route run against zone look. So really like this matchup for James Cook today. I think we would have saw Javonte Williams actually have a nice game last week had the Broncos defense not look like the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. So I think the Bills have to get it going. They have to keep 2 off the field. They need to get cooking.
Fins, give me the Dolphins +3. This one is very simple. I'm not fading the Dolphins right now, and I know a lot of people are thinking this is one of those spots where Dolphins just scored 70 points. You fade the public. Everyone's going to be betting them. You take the Bills -3 at home. I could see what you're talking about, but at the same time, Dolphins right now are starting to remind me a little bit of the Bengals of last year, where they were the public side every single week, and it didn't matter. They just kept covering. The odds makers just couldn't keep up with what that offense was doing last year with Burrow. And I think it's the same thing here. Now, you got to put yourselves in their shoes. Their hands are tied here. Like, can you really have the Miami Dolphins favored on the road in Buffalo? And then you look at the pie charts, you look at the action, people are betting the Bills. So it's not even like the public's all over the Dolphins. It is the public side. Bills action tends to be more of the sharper picks, but still, full 3 with this Miami offense. By the way, Jordan Poyer not playing. A really important piece of the Bills secondary. You can't be missing pieces of the secondary when you play the Miami Dolphins. This offense is crazy. Getting a full 3 points, I'll take it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm also on Jason Sanders over his kick points at 6.5. I put a little description on that on Twitter. But the 2 spots that I like getting Tua. I get Tua playing on the East Coast, where Tua is 19-7 ATS on the East Coast. He's 3-6 in anywhere that he's not on the East Coast, he doesn't play well. And on top of that, we get Tua against the AFC East, where he's 8-3-1 in his career. He's the second most profitable quarterback in NFL history against that. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but he has no problem playing at home, playing in the East Coast time zone, and he has no problem playing against the division. I'm going to keep on rolling with the Dolphins.
Our poll is on Miami, but not by a crazy margin here. 47% of our viewers taking the Dolphins, 36% taking the Bills. Next,
and I hate Tua. The fact that I've bet the Dolphins all 3 weeks or all 4 weeks is just – yeah, I used to get in arguments. I think he's made of glass. I'm just not that – I'm not a Tua guy, and I've bet the Dolphins 4 straight weeks.
So do I even need to ask weather report if it's good? It's good everywhere?
It's good, yes.
All right. Is this 8.5 prop beaver?
Right now, yes, it's at 8.5 on most books. DraftKings and PointsBet still have us at 9.5, while Barstool has it at 9. So definitely go line shopping on this one. As far as the total goes, 43 pretty much on every book.
43 across the board. You got it. So you can get Commanders plus 8.5 and Eagles plus 8. Commanders plus 9.5 and Eagles plus 8.5. All right, what are you betting, prop beaver?
Sorry, just had somebody call me real quick. Let me get back and oriented. Yeah, so I'm betting DeAndre Swift over rush yards here, over 66.5 rush yards. It's less a fade of this Commanders defense and just more of a bet on Swift. I don't know if you've these past 2 primetime games, but dude, the holes that the Eagles are creating in the run game are flat out stupid. A fucking bus could fit their way through some of the holes that they're creating. And if I've had one kind of complaint with DeAndre Swift his entire career, is that the guy does not run north to south. He's always trying to do stupid shit in the backfield, dance around, and is ineffective because of it. In the NFL this year, he is first in running back efficiency, meaning he is the most north to south runner in all of football. We are getting a guy who, behind an O-line that is top 3 in the league, is now running north and south, and we've seen the results. He's averaging just about over 6 yards per carry in these games, and Gainwell has been completely ineffective. He's had 28 and 16 rush attempts his last 2 games. You want to know what DeAndre Swift is with 14-plus rush attempts in his career? 8-2 to the over, averaging 109 yards per game. With 15 attempts, he is 6-0 to the over, averaging 130 yards per game. I personally laddered this. I took this to 125 rush yards at 1,100 odds. I think he's going to go fucking ballistic today. I don't think they're going to have a chance of stopping him. They need to focus on the weapons on the outside. They need to focus on stopping Hurts. Swift is the last of their worries, and he's going to make them pay the bill.
I'm on the Commanders. This is too big of a number here. Let me shorten it. So, all right, I feel like the value, this is an all-time buy low spot for Washington, and I'm not even big on this Washington team, by the way, but last week they got blown out by the Bills 37-3. Washington turned the ball over 5 times in that game, 5 times, and I'm not saying those turnovers don't count. I'm just saying with a game like that, they just make things look way worse than they actually were. Do you know that Washington Commanders averaged 8.1 yards per carry on the ground last week? Obviously, they had to abandon it because they went way down on the scoreboard. But 8.1 yards per carry on the Bills' defense, which is a great run defense. I think Washington's going to come out with a much more conservative game plan in this one. They're going to give the ball to Brian Robinson. They're going to put Sam Howell in opportunities, low-risk situations where he can make easy throws. I'm not saying that I like Washington's offense to come out here and move the ball on the Eagles, but I think they'll move the chains here and there. I think they're going to be able to run the ball in this game. And I think, obviously, Sam Howell, we should see a dramatic turnaround as far as the turnovers go. He just turned the ball over 4 times, I think. They had 5 in the game, but I think 4 of them were him. So I think he'll be safer with the football. I like Washington's offense. Now, on the other side of the ball, there is nothing on paper to suggest that the Washington Commanders can stop the Eagles' rushing attack. Just nothing. Eagles have the second highest ranked rushing offense in the NFL so far this season. They're averaging 4.9 yards per carry as a team, second in adjusted line yards. Washington's been bad against the run. I mean, it's a terrible mismatch. But I will say, Eagles haven't done the best job at protecting the passer this year, protecting Jalen Hurts. Philly's just 21st in adjusted sack rate. Jalen Hurts hasn't looked amazing throwing the ball this year. I'm not shitting on Jalen Hurts. I'm just saying he hasn't looked amazing throwing the ball. And Washington's got a pass rush. Washington's 6th in adjusted sack rate, 6th in pressure rate. So they're coming for Hurts, and he hasn't been great. And, it's a division matchup. You want to know the Eagles' record against Washington the past 3 years? It's 3-3, 1-2 at Financial Field. So Washington actually won their last time. They won the last time they came to this to the stadium, and their 3 last trips to Phillies, Washington is 2-1. So the 9.5 points in this division matchup, definitely taking them with Washington.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you here, you got the Eagles coming off a short rest, not a spot that I really love betting on. And then on top of that, Sauce talked about it the last week with how bad Howell was beat up. I mean, he was sacked 9 times. I mean, they're on pace for the most sacks in NFL history. I just don't see that continuing to happen. And then we get Riverboat Ron Rivera as a dog who's 57-43-2 ATS as an underdog in his career. I'm with you, Sauce. I'll take the 9.5 with the commies as well.
And our community is definitely laying the points with Philly.
Also, Beaver, I didn't play no 65. I played 100 plus only, just for you, baby.
55% of our viewers laying the points with Philly, 29% taking it with Washington, 10% over, 3% under. Right. Bucks at Saints. This is in a dome. Don't need a weather report. This 3.5 on both sides, prop Beaver.
No, I mean, you could really shop around and get what you want on this one. Looks like the consensus has moved to 4, but you could still get 4.5 on the Bucks plus 4.5 minus 115. You could get minus 115 on the Saints minus 3.5. So would shop around on this one. And what's weird about this is I think that Winston was announced as the QB, then it was announced Derek Carr. So this line's a mess because of that, I believe.
It is Derek Carr, I thought.
Well, at first they said it was Winston.
Is it confirmed Carr? It fucking better be.
Dude, I truly don't know at this point. They've now
it's Carr.
Okay, well, this morning when I first woke up, it was fucking
What?
Winston.
Would you wake up 5 minutes ago?
No. Oh my God, you're a clown. See, I was up before you, and that's why I saw that Winston.
Oh, you were up before me.
Yeah.
You were up before me.
They don't call me.
Listen, I was up before you.
All right, what's the total in this game? What's the total in this game?
All right, I'm gonna have to go to the other page. Sorry, fellas.
Holy shit, dude!
At
I got
41. It's at 41.
All right.
These types of blow-ups is what makes this workplace so hard to work in now.
What are you betting, dude?
I'm not betting anything. This game's a pile of dog shit. I didn't even know who the fuck was that quarterback. I didn't even know who the fuck was that quarterback for half the morning. I'm passing the game stuff.
Carr is starting. Carr is confirmed in the comments. All right,
I didn't even know the quarterback.
I'm on the Saints here. Saints minus 3.5. I got it at plus 100. But now that Carr is confirmed, I'm assuming that's why the line is moved. You probably can't get that anymore. First of all, Bucks defense dealing with serious injuries here. Here's the Bucks defense. Jamel Dean out, Cansey out. And then look at the 3 questionables here. Carlton Davis, Devin White, Vita Vea. Those are 3 huge pieces of that Bucks defense, all questionable. So, yeah, this Bucks defense is banged up right now. And, look, let's switch and talk about the Bucks offense, though, right now, because I think the Bucks offense is in trouble here. On the road in New Orleans against Dennis Allen's defense. Saints defense is ranked 6th overall, 5th against the pass, 11th against the rush. Bucks have no run game. None. Tampa's averaging just 2.8 yards per carry on the season. 31st in the NFL, 28th in rushing DVOA, 27th in adjusted line yards. Tampa has no run game at all. Bucks have been really reliant on Baker Mayfield in the passing attack, and credit to Baker Mayfield, he's been pretty good. But this is a terrible matchup for him as well. Check this out. So the Saints run a lot of man coverage, 5th most man coverage of any defense in the NFL. Look at Baker Mayfield's numbers against man. Sure, he's racking up against zone on the right side of this chart here, but the passer rating in zone 102.8 drops to a 75.1 against man. Same goes for yards per attempt. Baker Mayfield has struggled against man coverage, and he's on the road in New Orleans against one of the best defenses in the NFL with no run game that run a lot of man coverage where he struggles. This is a nightmare spot for the Bucs offense. Now, on the other side, I know people aren't big on the Saints offense right now. I get it. But the truth is, statistically, they've actually been throwing the ball pretty efficiently. Chris Olave looks good. And if you really take a look at those at the Saints games, yeah, Carolina scored a garbage backdoor cover touchdown to make it look close, 2017, but that game wasn't close. The Saints were in control that entire game. Last week, Saints are up 17-0. Derek Carr gets hurt, and then the Saints offense does nothing the rest of the game. If Derek Carr doesn't get hurt, you got to imagine that final score looks a lot different. It's probably a comfortable Saints win. So I feel like this is a nice spot to buy low on the Saints because I think the Saints look pretty good, but their record and their game logs don't necessarily show it. Both these teams are sitting at 2-1. I think the Saints should be 3-0 and the Bucs should be 1-2. So I don't think these two teams should have the same record. I think the Saints are significantly better. Alvin Kamara back on the field. I think we're going to see the Saints firmly establish themselves as the best team in the NFC South today. Saints by a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm on the Saints as well. First of all, I like fading Todd Bowles as an underdog. 19, 28-3 ATS. That's 143 out of 147 coaches in the last 20 years. That's how bad he has been as an underdog. Also, couple other things. I found a weird thing. Teams that played the Eagles the last week are 19, 33-1. That's like the worst by any other team by a large margin. And then also, I also like the fact that Mike Evans isn't going to do much because I think Marshawn Lattimore is going to lock him up. He hasn't faced him multiple times, 11 times in his career. He only has 3 touchdowns and 5 catches or fewer in 10 of those games. So, I think this is a spot for Tampa Bay to really not play well. I'll take the Saints in the Dome.
And our poll is on the Bucs. That's another thing that I forgot to mention.
I was going to say, yeah, look at those pie charts.
They're selling a lot of Bucs plus 3.5 tickets. Now it's up to 4.5. They're selling Bucs tickets. There are a lot of people out there betting the Bucs. 47% of our viewers are taking the 4.5 with the Bucs. 41% laying it with the Saints. 8% under. So yeah, very public dogs.
Bucs just 2-8 ATS their last 10 versus the Saints.
Ooh. Vikings at Panthers. Is this one at 4.5 still, Prop Beaver? It was this morning.
Consensus would be at 4.5, but you could get 4 points bet -110 on each side, and you could get 5 on bet 365 -110 on each side.
Total? It is partly cloudy.
Partly cloudy. There you go. Total?
As far as the total goes, 46.5 consensus.
46.5 consensus, he said. Prop Beaver, why don't you bless us with a prop? Or a pick, I should say.
Yeah, I should actually thank you for this one because our Cole earlier gave me a bit of inspiration. I'm going to take Bryce Young over 19.5 completions, -125. Bryce Young surely hasn't looked the best in his NFL career thus far. He's averaging 150 yards per game, 4.2 yards per attempt, a sub-60 completion percentage. It's not good. But if there was ever a bounce back spot, I think it could come against this weak-ass Vikings pass D. They're 23rd in pass DVOA, 31st in opponent completion percentage, and 27th in opponent completions per game, averaging 27 per game. Reich and the Panthers' play calling has made it clear as day this is a pass-first offense. Right now, they're sitting 3rd in pass play percentage at 68%. And even if you take out Andy Dalton's 58 attempt start, the Panthers are still throwing on 60% of Young snaps week 1 and 2. Very heavy. And now he finally gets to face a zone-heavy defense. The Falcons and the Saints are 1st and 5th in terms of man frequency, respectively. And Bryce Young just has a 50% completion rate against man coverage. But against zone coverage, that completion percentage skyrockets to 80.8%, second amongst qualified QBs. And even against 2 man-heavy defenses, week 1 and week 2, he had 20 and 22 completions, cashing this total. On top of that, Flores likes to blitz at the highest rate in the league. Amongst 34 QBs under blitz, Bryce Young sits 6th in completion percentage at 70%. I just think that we're going to see a lot of pass attempts here. The Vikings offense should have no problem scoring on Carolina. I mean, this total is 46.5 after all. And I think we see another game with 30-plus pass attempts for Bryce Young. And that's important because since 2022, opponents against the Vikings are 12-1 to the over with 30-plus pass attempts. So I really like the play here. Thank you to Kyle for pointing out Young's excellence against zones earlier today.
Yeah, Carolina all the way here. Based on what we've seen, you're trying to lay 4.5 points on the road with this Vikings team. They look terrible. They're 0-3 with loss. Excuse me. They're 0-3 with losses to the Bucks and the Chargers. The weakness: how do you beat this Panthers team? You run the ball because they have terrible defense against the run. They're allowing 4.5 yards per carry this season. Vikings don't even have much of a run game. Minnesota's just 25th in rushing DVOA. The run game hasn't been there for Minnesota. Minnesota's also been having problems protecting Kirk Cousins. That's one of the few bright spots with Carolina is they have a pass rush. This is a bad matchup here. And then what Beaver was talking about is this graphic right here. I put it up on the screen. I don't know if you saw it. Vikings run a ton of zone. Actually, entering last week, they were running the most zone of anybody in the NFL. Look at Bryce Young's numbers against zone coverage. He's actually good. 80.8% completions, 91.7 passer rating. Bryce Young has gobbled these zones up. I like the matchup for the Panthers on both sides of the ball. Look, I'm not trying to say the Panthers are the better team here, but the public is all over Minnesota. And if I'm going to bet a public road favorite, I'm not saying I never do. I'm betting the Chiefs tonight. Spoilers. If I'm going to do that, I shouldn't be able to poke a bunch of holes in it, and I can poke several holes in here. Vikings can't run the ball. That's what you need to do on this Panthers defense. Vikings can't protect Kirk Cousins. Bryce Young good against the zone. I shouldn't be able to poke so many holes if I'm going to bet a public road favorite. So give me the points at home. I'm fading everybody. I want the Panthers in a close one.
I love it. I'm tailing.
Yeah, there's just no way I get to the Vikings. I'm tailing Sauce as well. The Vikings are 1-8 ATS over their last 8 games. The last time they covered a game was Week 18 against the Bears. So it's just really hard. It's just really hard for me to get behind this team. It's Vikings went 11-0 one-score games the last year. Since that playoff game against the Giants, they've lost 4 straight one-run games because I'm in baseball mode, but one-score games. I just don't trust this Vikings team. I think they're living off a lot. I mean, Justin Jefferson leads the league in receiving. Kirk Cousins leads the league in passing, and they still can't win. I'm just not there with them. I'll take the Panthers as well.
Someone just said Sauce just takes every public fade. Dude, last week when I went off, I was all on public sides last week. All right, so polls all over the Vikings as expected. This is one of the most public plays on the board. 67% of our viewers laying the 4. 21% of our viewers taking the points of Carolina. 6% over, 3% under. Over would be the look as well. I almost took the over as well. I had it typed in, and then last minute I deleted it. What's up, Toast?
I'll give you one trend for the over. In the last 20 years, the over is 83, 60-1. That's almost 60%. And Kirk Cousins starts, making him the most profitable quarterback to cover the over in that span.
Kirk Cousins, the most profitable over quarterback.
Yeah, he's 34, 18-1 to the over since 2020.
Damn, that's a high hit rate too.
Yeah.
Now let's go to, in what my opinion, like as far as point spread rise, this is a pick'em. Should be actually Beaver confirmed that this is a pick'em, right?
This is a true pick'em.
Rams Colts.
You could get +1 if you want for the Colts and -1 for the Rams, but this is pretty much a pick'em, as much of a pick'em as they.
Total.
The total is sitting at 45 consensus.
45 consensus. All right. It's crazy because this is a pick'em, cool game. This should be a fun game to watch. Anthony Richardson is back. This is the only game I didn't bet. So I'll go first and I'll put mine up. I put the Rams down. Super public side. Everyone's on the Rams. Trust me, I was trying to get to the Colts. I just couldn't. Matt Stafford looks really good when he has time, and I don't know how much I trust the Colts pass rush. I trust the Colts run defense, but I don't know if I trust the Colts pass rush to get to him. And Matt Stafford has shown us that, yeah, he's aging, but when he has time, he could still cook a secondary with the best of them. And I just don't love the matchup for the Colts here. I'm sure Anthony Richardson will make some plays. And another thing about the Rams is they're very healthy. They have that Skoranek receiver is questionable, but for the most part, they're very healthy. So I think the Rams are the better team, and I would take the Rams here. But like I said, I didn't actually place a bet on this game. Maybe later, maybe when my friends get here right before kickoff, I'll do something. But as of right now, I didn't bet it. Prop Beaver?
Yeah, I had to do it. I had to pull the trigger. I had to join the hype train. Give me Puka Nakua over 73.5 receiving yards and give me over 6.5 receptions.
So wait, how many receiving yards?
70.5 and then 6.5 receptions. It's actually 73.5 now. I don't care if it was at 80.5. I'm taking it. Yeah. I mean, at first I was thinking to myself, I'm like, am I being a square bitch? I'm like, the first 2 games, this guy was going absolutely nuclear. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, this is a kid in his 4th NFL start being priced higher than guys like DK Metcalf, Jalen Waddle, Mike Evans. I mean, they're already pricing him amongst the cream of the crop. And I still just think he absolutely skyrockets over this line. His worst effort was last week where he had 5 receptions for 72 yards. But guess what? Since he's the number 2 defense against wide receiver ones, allowing the second fewest yards per game, second in DVOA, second in points attempts per game allowed, Colts are not that. They're in the bottom 10 in most of those categories against wide receiver ones. And what really makes me love the matchup for Nakua here is the fact that he shreds zone coverages. So against zone thus far, he's commanding a 40% target share, 11.9 yards per reception, and 3.48 yards per out run. Absolutely elite against man. That is not the case, a shell of himself. And this reminds me exactly of the 49ers matchup where he posted 15 receptions and 147 yards. 49ers, first in zone, just 1.7% more than Indy. They have a great rush defense, just like Indy. On top of that, they have a great pass rush, so the Stafford's going to need to get the ball out quick. I just think that this is the last dance for Nakua before Cooper Kupp comes in and messes up his usage. I got to be there for it, so I'm taking the over in both spots.
Strong words there. Strong take.
Just to Beaver's play, that Nakua kid, he's been targeted 42 times. That's the most by a rookie through his first 3 games in the NFL since they tracked that stat since '92. So lots of chances for that kid. I was leaning the Rams as well. This is like one of those quirky things that I like certain things, and I like guys in certain time zones. Sean McVay in the Eastern time zone. Anytime he takes his show out east, he seems to do well. 11-5 and 2 ATS in that Eastern time zone. He also does really well at the beginning of the year. McVay coached teams 34-14 in September and October, but when you get to November and on, he's 34-29. So I lean the Rams, but if it being super public, I don't really love it. I didn't play it either.
Our poll is all over the Rams as expected. We got 64% of our viewers betting the Rams, 25% betting the Colts, 6% over, 3% under. So the person who asked in the comments, pick 'em. When someone says it's a pick 'em, that means there's no point spread. It's just pick a winner normally minus 110 odds even across the board.
In the good days.
Right? Steelers at Texans. I kind of cannot believe this one's still at 3, Beaver?
Yes, it is still at 3 on most books.
Total?
1 second, pulling that up.
There you go, Jags. There you go, Jags. Let's go. Put this game away. No, it's 17-7. But they just had like 20-yard play. Can I get the total? Okay, Can I get the total?
41 and a half.
41 and a half. Oh, my God. He has one job. All right. Poll is up. Proppy, you got anything in this one?
Yeah, Steelers all the way. Not going to really overcomplicate it here. Texans O-line remains without 4 of their top 5 starting linemen heading into this season. They're going to face the Steelers pass rush that's top 10 in pressure rate, hit percentage, and 3rd in adjusted sack percentage. I feel like Stroud hasn't been tested by a great pass rusher thus far, and the Steelers are going to learn him something today. So I think that they're going to struggle offensively. And then on the other side, I mean, the Steelers offense had to face the 49ers defense and the Cleveland defense in weeks 1 and 2, arguably 2 top 3 defenses. They faced the Raiders last week, a similar defense in terms of competence to the Texans. And while they only scored 23 points, Kenny Pickett looked really, really good in that game, posting 108 and an 8.8 passer rating. And I like what I've seen from him. I think that he's going to continue to improve as the season goes on. I think this is a nice spot to fade Houston coming off an ass kicking against the Jaguars, beating the shit out of them. And yeah, I just like the value here. I don't care if I have to lay 3 on the road. The Steelers kept covering for us these last 2 games. I think they extended to 3.
Damn right. Couldn't agree more. And I don't know if you guys saw, I put the graphic on the screen while he was talking, but I'll bring it back up. Look, there's a lot of sharps out here taking Houston. I don't see how you ignore this here. This is the Texans' offensive depth chart. No Tunsil, I mean, they're missing both tackles. They're missing a guard. They might be missing a center. Now, to be fair, that center, Dieter, he won that job in like a battle. So the backup center is like it's arguably not even a downgrade. So disregard the questionable at center. But missing both offensive tackles against TJ Watt and the Steelers pass rush, are you crazy? How do you ignore that? This line just, I am going to say almost the same exact sentence that I said last week when I was talking about the Steelers-Raiders game. This is just an overreaction to the first two games from the Steelers. I mean, Kenny Pickett and that offense looked bad. And not that they look great now, but they started out the season playing San Francisco and Cleveland. I think there's a good chance in 2 months that those are number 1 and number 2 defenses in the NFL. There's a lot of quarterbacks. There's a lot of offenses that would look like absolute shit if those were their first 2 games. And we're still dealing with the overreaction here. Look, CJ Stroud looks solid. I grew up as an Ohio State fan. I'm not really an Ohio State fan anymore, but as a kid, I grew up as an Ohio State fan, so I'm rooting for him. He looks great. But you want to take a rookie quarterback against the Steelers pass rush with backup offensive tackles, backup Houston Texan offensive tackles? I mean, most likely without a run game as well. I know the Steelers' run defense is definitely beatable, but Houston's averaging just 2.8 yards per carry this season, 31st in the NFL. They have the 30th rated rushing attack. Offensive line creates 0 push. I don't see what you could like in that matchup. The only angles that you could make for a Texans +3 bet are just negative talking points about the Steelers' offense. But you know what? We finally saw the Steelers' offense play a bad defense last week. We finally saw them get an opportunity to score some points. And, you know, they were all right. They weren't explosive, but they got the job done on the road in Las Vegas, and I think they do the same thing here. Texas defense, by the way, doesn't look good. Texans defense. They have not been getting to the quarterback. They can't stop the run. I don't love the idea of laying a full 3. Really wish it was 2.5, but look, there's no way I'm taking Houston here. Steelers -3.
Yeah, so I was actually trying to find a way to get to Houston just because I assumed that people would be betting the Steelers. Kenny Pickett, 10-5 in ATS in his career. He's the 3rd most profitable quarterback since the start of last season, so he's been really good. One thing that I did think was, shit spot for the Steelers. 2 primetime games. Now they got this sleepy game in Houston, and then they play the Ravens next week, so it's a shit spot for the Steelers. And then also for the Steelers, teams that just played in Vegas since the Raiders moved to Vegas, that next game, 9-17 ATS. I don't really love it, but I will take CJ Stroud to throw an interception at -105. He hasn't thrown an interception yet this year. It's about damn time. So yeah, that's my place for this one.
-105. Stroud over a half interception. All right. Our poll, as expected, is heavy on Steelers. This is a pretty public side here. 63% of our viewers taking the Steelers, 27% taking Houston, 6% under, 2% over. Next game. Chargers, Raiders. What a disgusting game when you factor in the injury reports of this one. Is this sell at 6.5, Prop Room?
Let me go ahead and check. Yes, so right now at 6.5, you can get the 7 on PointsBet.
What?
Yep.
You can get a full 7? I have to hit that. Total?
So the total in this ball game is now at 48.5. 48 on some books. Split even, basically. 3 on one book, 3 on the other.
48.5 sounds good. All right. Raiders, Chargers. Prop Beaver, speak.
This is tough. I wanted to take an O'Connell prop of sorts, but I mean, they pretty much priced in the fact that he's a fucking stud. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take the full 7 with the Raiders. I just don't think that these teams are that far apart. I don't think Jimmy G is that big of a difference. I don't know if you've seen Jimmy G thus far, but he looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. He has 6 interceptions right now on a unholy pace that make Dak Prescott look like Tom Brady. I don't trust what the Chargers are doing defensively. I mean, Brandon Staley, defensive coach, my fucking asshole. They're now 29th in EPA per play the last 3 seasons with him as the defensive play caller. Truly fucking pitiful. I wouldn't care if it was Brian Hoyer or KD, but now that we're getting Aiden O'Connell, a kid that could sling the ball, a kid that has the tools to be a successful NFL quarterback, and the amount of injuries on the Chargers side of the ball, I have to take the full 7 there.
Yeah, I was taking the Raiders when I thought it was Hoyer. Now that it's O'Connell, I'm 100% on the Raiders, and now that I can get it at 7, definitely. I'm a big Aiden O'Connell fan. He was my favorite quarterback coming out of the draft this year, was Aiden O'Connell, mostly because he played in an NFL-style offense at Purdue last year. I mean, he was dropping back to pass 45 times a game his 2 years as a starter at Purdue. This is a dude that knows how to operate an offense that is reliant on the pass. He's had the pressure on his shoulders every single start, basically his entire starting career there at Purdue. So I don't think I don't think he's going to feel that uncomfortable here against a Chargers team that you can dink and dunk on. You can take 4 or 5 yard hits on the Chargers defense all day. They're terrible against the short pass. There's no Joey Bosa. There's no Derwin James. Take away arguably the 2 best pieces. Well, maybe Khalil Mack. 2 of the best 3 pieces of that defense from a defense that's already terrible. One of the worst in the league. I think Aiden O'Connell fits right in there perfectly. I love that I'm getting 7 points. Now, do I trust the Raiders defense to make stops here against Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense? No. Kellen Moore's got that offense humming. But you know what? They're missing Eckler, and the run game has disappeared since he left. In week 1, Chargers had Eckler and Joshua Kelly running all over the Dolphins in week 1. That run game is gone. Last week against the Vikings, I can't believe this. I had to double check on multiple websites to make sure it wasn't a typo. The Chargers as a team against the Minnesota Vikings had 15 carries for 30 yards as a team rushing. Against the Vikings. Yo, what? 15 carries for 30 yards on the Vikings? Yeah, this Chargers run game sucks. There's no Eckler. I love that we're getting points. I think the Raiders can win the game. I swear to God. I know that's crazy, but I think it's very possible.
Yeah, there's just no way I place the Chargers here. I just don't trust this team. Like Beaver just said, Staley's supposed to be a defensive guy, and they've looked absolutely terrible. There's a lot of trends saying that if the Chargers hold the Raiders to less than 27, it's going to be really good for them. When Herbert obviously with Herbert, when his defense allows 27 or more points, LA is 9-20 ATS. But if they keep him under 27, he's 19-4. So obviously he can score. I just don't trust this Chargers team, so I'll take the points with the Raiders as well. Also, the Raiders much better on the road than they are at home. They're the most profitable road team since moving to Vegas.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
Our poll all over the Chargers here. 55% of our viewers laying the 6.5, 32% taking the points with the Raiders, 7% over, 4% under.
Cash at yet another kicking prop.
I might post the Raiders on Twitter. That's how much I like them today. I think that's a good-ass bet.
Cardinals at 49ers. Good God. Is it still at 14?
For the love of God. It is at, 1 second. Fucking Jim's taking a fat minute today. It's at 14 even, and then 43.5 is the total.
43.5 is the total. This sucks. This absolutely sucks. You want to go first, prop? I mean, this sucks. Do you have anything to say? Maybe a prop or something?
Yeah, I actually do have a prop. This is my big balls bet. Because,
your big balls bet.
Whoa, hold on. Let me get my book open.
Yeah. This is a big balls bet. I'm going James Conner under 54.5 rushing yards. Now, why is it a big balls bet? Well, oh my God, I wish my dogs would just shut the fuck up.
I know. Put them down already, man. We got bets.
I mean, one of them was almost put down the other day by that German Shepherd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the reason I like Connor under 54.5 rush yards is the fact that this is the biggest I'm daring you to bet the over line I've ever seen. His rush attempts line is at 13.5. He's cashed out in 10 straight games. This rush yards line, he's cashed out in 9 of his past 10 games. So what the hell is going on? Why do they have this line that the parlay fiends are going to try and put in every single parlay they got? Well, I think it's because he's going to shit the bed. The Cardinals are coming off the high of a win over Dallas, a game which they were 12.5-point dogs at home. How do the books respond? They make them bigger dogs here at San Francisco, plus 14. And while they were able to compete with the low-level teams like Washington and New York while shocking the Cowboys using their pass rush-heavy tendencies against them, 49ers are a different beast. Team scored 30-plus points in each matchup, winning by 7-plus in each. And Connor is yet to lose by more than 4 this year, and that's important because in 6 losses by 5-plus points, headed back to last year, Connor's 4-2 to the under, and in losses by 10-plus points, he's 3-1 to the under. Assuming that the books aren't doing charity work here on that rush attempts line, with 13 or less attempts as a Cardinal, Connor is 11-2 to the under, averaging 37 yards per game. Since 2022, San Fran allowing 56 yards per game, 3.3 yards per carry, and just 17 attempts to running backs, all lowest in the NFL. I got to take this very, very, I guess, public bait type of play. I mean, I got to fade it. They're begging us to take that over. Fuck.
So Chiefs minus 14, but honestly, my bigger bet for this one is I did a teaser, kind of like I did last week, but the Cowboys screwed it. Chiefs, I'm sorry. 49ers minus 14 is my pick for this one. And I am going to put a few dollars on this, but the bigger bet I'm doing here is a teaser like I did last week. 49ers minus 7.5, Chiefs minus 3.5, parlay at minus 107. And yes, I chose those numbers on purpose because I know people are like 3.5 and 7.5. That's exactly why I juiced that price up. So, do you really need a reason of why the 49ers are going to beat the Cardinals? You're good, right? They're good. Toast, what are you doing? Toast, you're muted. Hello? And he's gone.
Like a thief in the night.
Like a thief in the night. And our 52% of our viewers are taking San Francisco, 35% taking the Cardinals, 6% over, 6% under. Patriots at Cowboys, 6.5.
Yeah, still at, well, actually, no, not at 6.5, down to 6.
Okay.
So there's that. You can still get 5.5 on FanDuel, and you can still get 6.5 on BetMGM, depending on what way you're betting. And then the consensus line, 3 of the books have it at 43. 3 of the other books have it at 43.5. So pretty much that's the consensus. Toast is back.
Toast is back? All right, let me get him in here. Like a thief in the night. All right, here he comes. And he's back.
I'm sorry, guys. Just really quickly on that 49ers game, the last 2 times that Kyle Shanahan's been a huge favorite of 14 or more one of them was against Arizona. They won 38-13. The other one was against the Giants. They won 23-7. So I'm on the 49ers as well.
Okay. Anyway, Patriots at Cowboys. You guys already, I put this one on YouTube. So I'll you know what, Pop Beaver, go first. They know what I'm taking, but.
So I'm going with Ramondre Stevenson under 17.5 receiving yards. You can get that on FanDuel. Pains me to say because I love Ramondre Stevenson, but let's call it square. The guy has fucking sucked thus far. Remarkably inefficient. Just 7 targets combined in his last 2 games, and it's translated to 4 receptions for 13 yards. Now there's reports coming out that this man is losing snaps to Zeke. Do you know how bad you have to be losing snaps to a decrepit Zeke Elliott? That is embarrassing. He's facing a Dallas defense who's first in DVOA, 5th in yards per game allowed, and 8th in pass attempts per game allowed against running backs. Nobody's been doing any damage through the air against Dallas out of the backfield. And on top of that, his under 3.5 receptions is priced at minus 170. With even 4 or less receptions, he's 11-2 to the under since 2022, averaging 9.2 yards per game. I think if the Patriots want to beat the Cowboys, which I think they can today, I think they need to pound it in the middle. They need to establish that run game, take advantage of the fact that the Cowboys pass rusher is way too over-aggressive, and they could win this one. But tossing little dump-offs to Ramondre Stevenson isn't going to accomplish shit. And I think that without Trevon Diggs there, it makes it a bit easier to pass more vertically on this Cowboys defense. So that's what I'm rolling with.
I like that. Okay, so whoops, that's too big. So you guys know that I'm on the Patriots here. Look, I don't think the Cowboys defense is very good. I know that's like crazy to say. They're just regarded as this elite defense. where is the evidence of that? I mean, are you basing that on what they did the first half of last season? I don't understand it. Keep in mind, I forget, was it the last 7 weeks of the season or the last 6 or 7 weeks of the season last year? Cowboys' pass defense plummeted to 24th in DVOA. So the pass defense was elite early last year, but it completely fell off. And what have they shown you this year? What has the Cowboys' defense shown? Like, week 1 against Daniel Jones and the Giants in the pouring rain when you were given a 19-0 lead for a blocked field goal and an interception return? Anybody, I said this on YouTube and I'll say it again. You give any NFL defense in the league, any of the 32 defense, you give them a 19-0 lead in the pouring rain, they're going to look good. You are very limited as a play caller offensively when you're down 19-0 in the pouring rain. It's a tough spot to be in. So there's that game. And then week 2, we're giving the Cowboys flowers for holding the Jets to 10 points. Who isn't holding the Jets to 10 points? I mean, 10 points is actually a solid offensive effort from this Jets team right now. And then last week, Cowboys defense got cooked by the Cardinals. Now, everyone was writing that off as a fluke. I think it was the first time we really got to look at this Cowboys defense. Sure, the pass rush is good. Micah Parsons is out of his mind. But if the pass rush doesn't get there, the Cowboys defense wasn't great against the run last year. It looks vulnerable to the run this year. I think the Patriots are going to move the ball and score points on the Cowboys in this one. And then the Cowboys offensively, dude, there's nothing really. Dak Prescott was not great against the Cardinals last week. He didn't have to do much in the first 2 games. I think they're missing Kellen Moore more than you realize. And the best indicator of it was what was happening with the Cowboys offense last week. Dak Prescott was dropping back. He had time, but he was looking downfield, couldn't find anybody, and checking down. He did that several times, meaning nobody's getting open. And that tells me they are missing Kellen Moore, who, in my opinion, is one of the best play designers as far as the passing game goes, because Dak Prescott's been throwing a wide open receivers in Dallas his whole career with Kellen Moore. And now all of a sudden no one can get open on the Cardinals secondary. That worries me. I think the Cowboys offense is good. I don't think it's good enough to lay 6.5 points. I'm on the Patriots here. I think they could win.
Yeah, it's a pass for me. I liked the Cowboys at like 3.5 or 4 area. I definitely don't like them at this number. I will say Dak Prescott only lost another game like this in his career as a double-digit favorite like he did last week. In that game, Dallas won 43-3 over the Cardinals. I also will say the Cardinals are the Cowboys off a loss, really good 9-1 ATS off a loss in the last 2 seasons. And then Prescott does really well against bad teams that are sub 500, 26, 13-2 ATS in his career. So I think the Cowboys win, but I like Sauce gave a lot of reasons why not to like them. So it's a pass for me.
And our poll is on New England here. Is it 49% of our viewers taking the Pats plus 6? Plus 6.5 if you could still get it. 40% laying the 5.5 with the Cowboys. 7% under, 2% over. I would lead over in this one, by the way. I think there's going to be points. Final game. And then, oh, by the way, guys, I didn't tell you this, but what I decided to do. Hold on, let me fix my camera real quick. Let me lock it. My camera's supposed to do. There we go. All right, so what I decided to do for the community parlay, instead of money lines, we're going to pick our 4 top against the spread picks and then do a 6-point teaser with them. That's what I figured the best.
Sauce. Just really quickly, sorry. Drew Holiday traded to the Celtics.
Oh, that's what they said. Andy's probably going nuts.
He is actually going nuts in a group chat right now.
I'm sorry, dude.
He's in our group chat. Like, dude, we're live. We're working. Not all of us can have Sunday mornings off, Andy. Degenerate.
He has zero respect.
All right,
must be nice.
I mean, I've been watching this.
So where's this line's at 9, Prop Beaver? 8.5.
Yeah, sorry, I was clicking on the team total to make sure it's at 8.5 or 8 on some books.
So I'll say Chiefs minus 8, Jets plus 8.5 over.
And then 41.5 is the total.
41.5.
Yep.
All right, polls running. Sunday Night Football. Go ahead, Prop Beaver. This is your team. This is your moment.
Yeah, I really love my Jets. I love them so much that I'm taking their team total under 16.5 points here, minus 115 on what I think it's PointsBet. Yeah, on PointsBet. Holy shit. I mean, this team's just exhausting. It's exhaustingly bad to watch. Sat there with my boy at his apartment last year, watched the entirety of the game. I mean, Zach Wilson on like 4th and 10 opportunities is throwing the ball 2 yards down the field. So this kid just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing back there. Through 3 games, they've scored 16, 10, and 10 points in regulation, averaging 12 points per game. KC's defense has allowed only 14, 9, and 10 offensive points per game. That's 11th. Zach Wilson is a mess under pressure. 32nd in completion percentage, 32nd in yards per attempt, 29th passer rating. And the Chiefs, the past 5 seasons with Chris Jones on the field, are first in pressure rate. And then what I really also like about the Chiefs' defenses in this one is that they have Trent McDuffie, who's a guy who shadows number 1 wide receivers, and he's been excellent this year, number 1 in terms of PFF grade amongst cornerbacks. He's going to be shadowing Garrett Wilson all night. So there's going to be pressure in Wilson's face. They're going to have McDuffie on Garrett Wilson. And then, as Willie Gay said in that interview, they know the Jets are trying to run the ball, so that rush defense is going to be prepared for this one. Unless Hackett comes out with the game script of the script of a lifetime to start this game, and the Jets offense gets going, they're going to suck again, and this will probably be the game that Wilson gets benched forever. Hopefully, I don't know. God, this team, love it.
Loving it.
Love it. Love the Jets.
I'm putting it on the screen. So depends on probably after the games when it gets close to kickoff for Sunday night, I'll put a bet down on Chiefs -9 or Chiefs -8, I should say. I gave out Chiefs against the spread on YouTube last night, but this is the bet. I already put it up. 49ers -7.5 tees. Chiefs -3.5 tees. It's at -107. So that's what I'll put for this one. This one's on YouTube. I won't go into it. The Jets offense is the worst thing of all time.
Yeah, and just to Beaver's credit with that Jets team total under, the books obviously don't think there's a lot of points here because I know it's up to 42 now, but at 41.5, that would have been the second lowest over-under in Mahomes' career. And the only other game that was lower was 2017 against the Broncos and Paxton Lynch. So that really goes to show you that they don't really think there's a lot of points being scored here.
I think the Jets defense is – I think the Jets as a whole are overvalued. I said this on YouTube. There's this notion – like, people honestly think the Jets would be fine if Rodgers didn't get hurt. Yo, that offensive line is terrible. And Rodgers was bad. First down. Let's go. Oh, man, I'm worried about the clock. Rodgers was bad against pressure last year. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL against pressure. Jets offensive line is terrible. You think everything would just be okay if you didn't get hurt? Sure, they'd be better because Zach Wilson sucks. But, I mean, the Jets have no pass rush. They can't protect the quarterback. The Jets are not good. If Rodgers was in there, they would be better, but they're not good, period.
And not to mention, this is like Mahomes' spot, like on the road, at night. He's like 11-5 ATS in that spot. Only Peyton Manning in the last 20 years has performed better at night on the road than he has. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is because I wanted to take the Jets because when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, man, these are the ones Mahomes doesn't cover. And then I actually looked. When favored by 7 or more points in the last 2 seasons plus this year, so the last 3 seasons technically, Mahomes is 10-11 against the spread. So in my head, I had it that like he's so bad against the spread when they're laying a lot. I think it's when they're laying like 4, 5, 6 is when they win by a field goal. I think that's how it usually goes down. But they're not nearly as bad against the spread in these spots as I thought.
At 3 or less, he's 19-6 and 1 ATS. So yeah, that proves your point.
Right, in between 3 and 7, that's when you fade the Chiefs. But more than 7,
yep.
Yeah. So our poll's all over the Chiefs here. 74% of our bets. 74% of our communities on Chiefs -8, 14% on Jets plus 8.5. All right, so let's do. Beaver, do you have an underdog?
I sent it to you. Yep.
All right, cool. Let me pull that up real quick. We'll do the underdog first. And then we'll do the community. Oh, here it is. You did send it to me.
Dude.
I mean, when they were loading it up, they probably thought it looked great.
Well, I mean, at least we have commies.
Here you go.
The Commanders against the
Prop
Bears
Beaver, you're on. Go ahead and explain your picks to people.
I mean, I already explained these picks earlier. Mahomes, free square, obviously. Love that. DeAndre Swift should be in a very run-heavy script against the Commanders and has holes the size of the fucking Holland Tunnel. He should be great. Puka Nacua, excellent against zone coverage. Should be seeing a lot of targets. James Conner, fading that trap-ass line. Give me that under.
All right, and if you don't have Underdog account, where's my map? Hold on, I lost my map. Damn,
Where's the
my
map? Where's the map?
Hold on, it's right here. I have it saved in the folder. I don't know why. The heck, there it is. There we go. Here's my Underdog map. So if you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, it's available at any state highlighted in yellow on this map. So go to Underdog Fantasy or download the app. They're actually doing a $500 deposit bonus match right now. So if you make an account and use the promo code BET, B-E-T, and you deposit $500, they'll give you a free $500 to play with. That's only till October 4th, so a couple days left on that. All right, let's do the community parlay for the first time with teased lines. That's what I decided the best course of action is. So let's get that prepared. Community parlay. Toshi, you have a sports book open, or are you holding a child?
I have it open, yeah.
All right. So, first game is Broncos at Bears, and they voted for Denver on that one, didn't they? Yeah, they did. I actually know they did. Broncos minus 3.5. Oh, it's at 3 now. Broncos minus 3. Next game, Bengals-Titans. They had Bengals. Bengals minus 2.5. Next.
And just to be clear, so if they pick, say, the Bengals, we're going to use an alt line, right?
Yeah, we're going to give 6 points. So they picked the Bengals. We're going to do Bengals plus 4.5. That's what we're going to do.
Oh, so it's just going to be 6 across.
6
okay.
across the board, yep. And Eagles minus 9. First leg of the community parlay. Let's get it. Cast your votes. The Broncos? Broncos out to an early lead? The hell's going on? There's no way this many people are voting Denver. Really? You guys? Oh my God! Bears are about to win, bro. Bears are about to win.
Beaver, I can't take it. Unlimited.
Unlimited.
Oh wait, here come the Dolphins have taken the lead. Ooh, Dolphins plus 9 would be a nice teaser on the community parlay. Dolphins take the lead again. I'm gonna give it 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and poll. And where's my poll results? Dolphins. So Dolphins plus 9 is the first of the teaser parlay. And second place was Broncos. So Broncos will probably get their way back onto the for the last poll. So Bucks at Saints. Did they like the Saints or the Bucks? Fuck, I forget to look. That's so far up to scroll too. Does anyone remember, like, if you guys like the Saints or the Bucks in that one? I'll type the other ones while we wait for comments. I know they like the Vikings.
I feel like people like the Bucks.
I know it was. Yes, they did because it was a public. Yep. Bucks plus 4, Vikings minus 4.5, Rams definitely, and Steelers minus 3. All right, second leg of the community parlay. And it looks like Vikings have the lead. Give it another 12 seconds or so, 10 seconds. 5 seconds.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
I'm not good with prop culture. What's the significance of 22-yard catch for Travis Kelce?
What do you mean the significance?
I have no clue.
Okay, there's a prop boost that says Travis Kelce to catch 22+ yard pass.
No, that's just where they have his longest reception at. End poll, and it looks like the Steelers.
Oh, thank you. My wife says it's Taylor Swift 22. That's why. You guys.
What do you mean
suck.
Taylor Swift 22?
I don't know. She just told me.
Because I'm feeling 22.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. I
regret asking the question.
What is that? One of her songs?
I'm not gonna say it.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm feeling 22.
Oh, I'm not.
I regret asking. I'm done.
I'm not familiar with her catalog.
I don't have her catalog at all.
49ers minus 14. Did the Jags just hit that field goal? Plus,
I don't know. I know McManus has already hit 2. Cash another one.
Minus 8.5. Number 3. Leg number 3. So we got Dolphins plus 9, Steelers plus 3. Cast your votes. Cast your votes. Early votes coming in on the 49ers. That would be teased down to -8. Why are they showing?
Yeah, the Jags got the field goal. It's 23-7.
There goes my team total over. Hey-oh. Hey-oh.
Oh, cash them all.
All right. I'm going to give it 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It looks like it's going to be the Chiefs.
I'm the new prop beaver for kicking props.
Wow. That's bold talk right there. You say that,
I mean,
and he'll laugh, and then he'll bring that up later in the week. Like, I can't believe Toast said that.
That would never be something I
Yeah,
said.
yeah, you would, bro. You'd be like, I can't believe Toast said that on the show.
Like, dude, this fucker Toast looks at kicking props for probably 5 minutes per game and is better at them than me, who does fucking looks at the shit for hours. That's what I would say.
Well, he's prop Toast now, and you're just Beaver.
I'm Rat Hall.
No, Rat Hall.
Everything that Beaver just said is 100% true on my end. Just for the record.
True, dude.
Fourth and final tease line for this parlay. Toast, you have that ready on the sportsbook so we can dish out the odds?
I will when it's done, yeah.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be Chiefs by a landslide here. Wow, I don't even have to let this one rock. It's Chiefs by 1,000,000. All right, Chiefs it is. Wait, Chiefs already won. Sorry, it was supposed to be 49ers. I messed it up. We'll do a quick one. Fuck. My bad.
Well, either way, a 3-team teaser is going to be plus 140 no matter what.
Oh, it's winning 14.
Oh, sorry.
My bad on that, guys. I'm running on a little sleep right now. Football weekends on this time of the year for me are rough. Sorry about that.
You're silly.
So I'll do a quick one. I'm not trying to waste your guys' time. My bad. Seriously. All right. 49ers, Vikings, Broncos. It looks like it's got to be 40. Oh, wait. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going to be 49ers. The community tease.
It's going to be plus 240 no matter what.
Really? They're all set like that?
Yeah.
Well, give us
As far as just a straight 6-point teaser.
Give us the results. 49ers -8 plus 240. There's our teaser. Our first community teaser. Dolphins +9. Steelers +3. Chiefs -2.5. 49ers -8. Now, if you're getting in on the NFL against the spread competition, only 118 people entered last week. So I don't know. Maybe if I'm giving away free stuff. This week is a signed Vikings helmet. Rich Gannon Vikings helmet. It's right on the website, KyleKirms.com. If you want, I have 7 top bets, and I promised I was going to reduce the amount of top bets I did on football week, but I couldn't resist it. So if you're interested in the top bets, they're right there on that link. You could also, right on the homepage there, make your 4 picks against the spread to enter to win the signed helmet. We've given away a signed Keenan Allen Chargers helmet, a signed Drake London USC helmet, a signed David Montgomery jersey, and now this week is a signed the alternate Vikings helmet. It's sick. It's signed by Rich Gannon. So if you're interested in that, head over to the website. Everyone, enjoy your football Sunday. Sorry about the power outage last week, but we are back. I had a strongly worded email that I sent to Jersey Central Power and Light. I don't think that'll be happening again. Let's have a great Sunday. If you're joining the Discord, I'll chat with you in there. Let's do it. Let's make some money. Get back. What is it? What did I call it? Get Right Sunday. Get Right Sunday.
Yes, sir.